Hi, it's Will Shannon here. I'm going to talk to you now about your fifth elimination channel. Now, this might be a little bit confusing because I said there's only 4. But Dr. Bernard Jensen, who was the father of American iridology, used to say there's 5. Most people say there's 4. Now, one of the fluids in your body is called the lymphatic fluid. Every cell in your body is bathed with lymphatic fluid, and the cellular waste is going into this fluid. Now, for a very long time, they didn't know what pumped this fluid, because the other fluid in your body, the circulation, has a pump called the heart. In the 1970s, a very well-respected American lymphologist called Dr. Jack Shields, his real name is Dr. Jacques Shields, Dr. Jack, westernized his name, Dr. Jack Shields discovered that a diaphragm breath is actually what pumps this. Now, the theory is between your 2 lungs, you've got 3 lobes here and 2 lobes here and then a heart. In between that is a thoracic duct. This duct, the theory goes, when you get a full diaphragm of air, the lungs are expanded. It's putting a compression on this thoracic duct. So what's actually happening is the lungs are actually serving in some ways as a pump for this fluid, which makes effective breathing very, very important. Every client that sees in my clinic now, I didn't always have the nerve to do it when I was younger, because I started off, being a very shove everything in your mouth type naturopath. But there was a tipping point where I knew it and I just had to share it. So what I do is I teach everybody now how to lymphatic breathe. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to lymphatically breathe correctly together. So what I want you to do is please just put your hands on your torso. Now, there's 2 rules to breathing. You always breathe in through your nose. You can breathe out through your nose or mouth, but in through the nose. And you want your tummy to come out a little bit, because as your lungs expand, the lungs actually come down. So the lungs are actually going to come down. So when you put your hands here, breathe in as deep as you can. I can actually hear Skype ringing in the background, so I hope you'll forgive that noise that's just passed now. And I want you to breathe in as deep as you can. Now, Dr. Jack Shields used to teach his patients to hold the breath for at least 4 times as long as you inhale. So as an example, if you could breathe in for a count of 4, you'd hold it for a count of 16. So let me show you. Put your hands here, breathe as deep as you can. Now you're going to hold it, so we breathe in for a count of 4, he would hold it for a count of 16. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and out. Now, if you do this long enough, 2 things will happen. Number 1, you're going to be keeping a compression on the thoracic duct. The lymphatic fluid around the cell is going to be moving. The second thing that's going to be happening is you're going to be building your lung capacity and raising oxygen. And the third thing that's going to be happening is Dr. Jack Shields, that wasn't the end of his breathing. The end of his breathing was he would actually teach his clients to breathe out for twice as long as they inhaled. In fact, in India, when they teach breathing, they actually teach you that the start of the breath is actually the exhalation. They teach you to actually exhale first. But to be a little bit Western here, we'll inhale, we'll hold, and we'll exhale. So what we're going to do this time together is we'll breathe in for a count of 4, we'll hold it for a count of 16, and we'll exhale for a count of 8. So you ready? Put your hands here. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4. So now we're holding. 4, 8, 12. Now exhale, we're going to exhale for a count of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now good, just breathe in and relax. Now, Dr. Jack Shields would tell his clients to do 10 breaths like this 3 times a day. He'll prescribe them breathing like he'll prescribe them oxygen. Now, in fact, one of the early founding fathers of natural medicine, who was around before they even used the word naturopath, and I'm going to share some of his information with you, and Steve Jobs was a very famous former follower of Apple for being one of his students, used to teach. He theorized that actually breathing is what pumped the heart, because he said, well, what causes the heart to pump? We now know that there's a whole lot of electrical signals and stimulation things that cause that to happen. But his theory was, given the fact that the lungs and the heart sit below the rib cage, he theorized that maybe it's actually the fact that, if we don't breathe, the heart doesn't beat. But it is food for thought, and it did get me thinking that we think of the heart as being the most important organ, don't we? And obviously in natural medicine we cleanse the body and cleanse the blood so the heart can work more effectively. But I would encourage you to start thinking of not just your bowels, but your lungs as being 2 very vital organs to develop. And now when people see me in my clinic, I always start with cleaning their airways and getting their lungs, because oxygen is an important mineral. which we'll discuss in the next module, and eliminating out. So obviously movement can help as well. Herbs, and I'll suggest some herbs that are good for lymphatics in this course for you, but I want you to get that in combination with these 4 elimination organs. We're going to be breathing together, and if you hear me asking you on these videos, are you doing your lymphatic breathing? It's because I want to be doing that to keep the fluid free of its own waste. Remember Dr. Alexis Carrel, how he said that if he didn't change the waste around the chicken cells that he kept in the petri dish for more than 3 days, it would begin to get sickly. Its lymphatic fluid needs to be pumped away from that part of the body, and you might find that even though you're eliminating from your body, the lymphatic fluid's congested in places, and those individual cells, or those particular organ, is not eliminating well, and you might find that even though you're having a bowel movement, you're eliminating from your body, there's certain congested parts of the body where the 2 fluids, the circulation and lymphatic fluid, is not getting in and out of easy, and breathing is one of those vital components.